Straight ahead on WBKB, new mask guidelines for the fully vaccinated.
Plus, 2 home invasion suspects are still on the run, and Mid-Michigan celebrates a milestone today.
You are watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Tyler Cruz.
And I'm Sherry Stewart. Alpena police are looking for 2 suspects involved in a home invasion early Tuesday.
Police say the suspects forcibly entered a home on the 400 block of South 2nd Avenue around 3 a.m. and held a man and woman at gunpoint. One suspect reportedly beat the male victim with the gun. The 2 suspects then left the home in a gray car. Alpena police did spot the vehicle near Chisholm Street and Johnson. Police chased the suspects until they abandoned the car and ran towards the DPI factory. 2 guns were found on Miller Street. Officers have been searching for the suspects for several hours. Alpena police say the suspects are armed and dangerous. They are described as 2 black males, with one being in his late 20s and having a red GR tattoo on the throat. You're asked to call 911 if you see anything suspicious.
The Alpena Township Board of Trustees continues to look for ways to save the fire department. WBKB's Tiffany Maddox was out in Alpena and has more on the township's list of options. Tiffany.
Sherry and Tyler, the Northside Fire Department that is behind me is one of those places that is currently affected by the township's fire department staffing crisis. Now, the documents that I hold in my hand here could hold a key to a solution that could help save the fire services in Alpena Township. Yesterday, the Board of Trustees met for a regular meeting and discussed some of those pros and cons of a few of their proposals. Those proposals include disbanding the department altogether, which is the least favored option, a non or for-profit fire department, also a combined or contracted fire department with the city, the creation of a county-wide fire authority, and also a hybrid fire department agreement. Now, some trustees say that the concern is the residents and that it's really time to start making some concrete decisions.
Time is of the essence, and those become real issues, and so. And that's where personally I don't like negotiating a position where my back is against the wall.
Now, the township still has to meet with the city of Alpena to discuss the proposals that they gave to the township. Now, at this meeting, they were also able to agree to reach out to Mid-Michigan Medical Center to discuss third-party EMS services as well. We'll be sure to keep you updated on future fire plans in the township as they progress. Reporting in Alpena, Tiffany Maddox for WBKB News.
Thank you for that, Tiffany. A street closure begins in Alpena tomorrow. Wednesday, April 28th, construction will begin on Oliver Street. The project will span from Oliver to LaForest down to 4th Avenue. This section will close to all traffic. Access to driveways will be limited, and residents will have to park on side streets for extended periods. Drivers are asked to find an alternate route.
The Forest Service has some safety instructions for those passing near the Brittle fire. Officials say pine needles and ash make the road slick when wet. They also say to be wary of any trees at the edge of the burn line, which could fall over. Finally, the Forest Service requests that people don't fly any drones over the burn zone. They pose a collision risk for the planes and helicopters still fighting the fire.
Now here's meteorologist Ellie Morrison with a first check of the weather. Ellie, is it still storming out there?
Yeah, Tyler, a little bit loud out there with a lot of thunder and lightning happening over parts of our area. We're seeing those thunderstorms, at least one batch of thunderstorms progressing through Alpena and Presque County, heading up towards the northeast. There is a second line of thunderstorms forming over areas to the southwest of Alpena. This extends through Mayo down towards areas near Roscommon and putting a storm track on this. It is moving towards the east at about 30 miles per hour. So over the next several minutes, minutes. It is going to be reaching areas near Lost Lake Woods in Alpena County if this holds together about an hour from now as this progresses off towards the east. In general, we are still going to see more rounds of showers tonight into tomorrow morning. So our chances of rain will be between medium and high through tonight to about midday tomorrow. And then the chances of showers are going to drop off for about a 24-hour period. That takes us late Wednesday through most of Thursday. I'll let you know when any additional chances of showers could move into our area coming up later in the program.
Thank you for that, Ellie. We'll see you a little bit later. A major announcement Tuesday from the Centers for Disease Control on guidelines for fully vaccinated people.
If you are fully vaccinated and want to attend a small outdoor gathering with people who are vaccinated and unvaccinated, or dine at an outdoor restaurant with friends from multiple households, the science shows if you are vaccinated, you can do so safely, unmasked.
The CDC defines fully vaccinated as 14 days after your second dose of your Pfizer or Moderna vaccine, or 14 days after your single dose of a J&J vaccine.
Homebound residents in Alpena can now receive a COVID-19 vaccine without leaving their house. Alpena Fire Chief Bill Forbush and Risk Reduction Officer Andy Marceau announced the program at the Board of Commissioners meeting this afternoon. Anyone in need of the service can contact the Alpena Area Senior Center and receive their vaccine through the Community Risk Reduction Program. Chief Forbush says the program comes with more than just the shot.
Elderly folks that are maybe homebound or anyone who's homebound can take advantage of a home safety assessment, free seal detectors, free smoke detectors. All of these services all the same time to get their vaccine as well.
For more information on homebound vaccines, you can find this story on our website.
All Meijer pharmacies in Michigan are offering walk-in COVID-19 vaccinations. Meijer has administered over 1 million doses of the COVID vaccine. They're offering Pfizer and Moderna vaccines at all stores. Pharmacies will have a minimum of 100 doses per week, and they will be administered on a first-come, first-served basis. A special day at Mid-Michigan Medical Center as they held a topping out ceremony to acknowledge the completion of the steel structure for their future patient tower. WBKB's Stephanie Manici was there and has more.
I'm here at Mid-Michigan Hospital where it's a very special day. They're having the last beam put in for the construction that's been taking place. They're almost nearing completion, but today some of the employees are going to be signing that beam. So for the hospital, it means a lot today.
Mid-Michigan employees cheered and even passersby honked as the signed beam was finally being put in. Among the many hospital staff in attendance, Mid-Michigan's regional president Chuck Sherwin says why the ceremony is important to him.
It's really exciting because we have the ability to move the project forward, and this is the last beam that gets put up. It's called the topping off ceremony, so it's kind of an exciting time to see a major part of the project being completed.
Sherwin also expressed his gratitude for the employees and looks forward to sharing this with the community.
Excited to offer this structure to our community and really want to thank our employees and our providers for the great work that they do, and they'll be able to do it in a brand new building. So we just appreciate all that they do for us.
As you can see, the beam has already been put up and the project is expected to be complete in spring of 2022. In Alpena, Stephanie Manici, WBKB News.
Thanks for that, Stephanie. Glad you got out of there before the rain.
Right in the nick of time.
Yeah.
More news ahead for you here on WBKB. Michigan loses one congressional seat, and meteorologist Ellie Morrison has your 7-day forecast next.
This photo, and if you have a photo such as nature shots, pics with friends, or interesting sights you see that you'd like to send us, email it along with a short description to news@WBKB11.com.
I can't wait to see more sunsets when the summer comes. Coming up on WBKB News, don't miss your Pets of the Week, and Jake Vanderbrook will have the latest in sports. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Michigan is losing one congressional seat, going from 14 to 13.
Yes, we're learning much more about the U.S. population and potentially the future of our political landscape as more people move from blue states to red ones. CBS News' Laura Podesta reports on the release of the 2020 census data.
The U.S. population is growing at the slowest rate in nearly a century. Just under 331.5 million people now call our country home. The 2020 census says more Americans are moving south and west. Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and West Virginia are all losing one of their seats in the House of Representatives.
Same goes for here in New York, which just barely lost a seat. It wouldn't have if just 89 more people had been counted.
And California lost a seat for the first time ever.
Cost of living. People aren't moving to California quite the way they used to because it's really expensive in much of California.
On the flip side, North Carolina, Florida, Oregon, Montana, and Colorado are each picking up one seat. Texas is picking up 2. 4 of those 6 states voted Republican in the 2020 presidential election.
Yeah, it's a nice confirmation of what we've been watching, the kind of movement away from California into Texas, largely on the basis of housing costs.
Many, though, are questioning the census data because it was gathered during a pandemic.
We undercounted people in urban areas, mostly because those are the areas that were hardest hit by COVID, and people did not want to open their doors.
In addition to determining how much weight each state holds in the House of Representatives, the census also determines the allocation of hundreds of billions of dollars in federal funding. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
States will now have the opportunity to redraw the boundaries of their congressional and state legislative districts.
If you missed a chance to weigh in on Michigan's redistricting process, you will have another opportunity Wednesday. The League of Women Voters of Northeast Michigan is repeating their virtual Zoom meeting presented last week. Co-President Doris Fay says it was crucial that everyone participate in the census survey now that the redistricting process is on the horizon.
And that's why it was so important to get an accurate count so that we have adequate representation in Congress and in state Congress, school funding, even things like roads, and businesses look at population trends as to where to relocate.
The town hall will take place Wednesday at 7 p.m. over Zoom. We have this story posted on our website with the meeting ID and passcode.
Well, Sherry, you know what today is?
It's Pets of the Week.
It's Pets of the Week. Today's pets are Turkey, Cuckoo, and Maya. Check it out.
Our first pet today is this pup named Turkey. He's about a year old and incredibly nervous around new people, particularly men. When he's with somebody he knows, however, he's the sweetest dog you could ever know. Turkey's fond of petting and hugs, but really loves a good long walk above anything else. He's really great at keeping pace. Because of his anxiety, he would do best in a quiet home without energetic little kids. Next, we have Cuckoo. She's a year old and enjoys cuddling. She leans right into any petting you offer, and her amber eyes are simply wonderful. She can get a bit moody sometimes, so make sure to give her space when she wants it. Finally, we have Maya. She's also around a year old, but she's less outgoing than Cuckoo. She's incredibly cautious and shy, moving slowly to find a comfortable spot in a new environment. Like Turkey, a few repeat visits might be the best way to get her to open up to you. To learn more about adoption, follow the link to the Huron Humane Society on our website.
That's making me miss my dogs. No. Sports is coming up next, but first, Jake Vanderbrook is here with a preview. Jake, what do you have for us tonight?
Hey, what's happening, Tyler, Sherry, and to all of you watching? 2 more area boys basketball players earned All-State, and they both come from the same school. More on that, plus some early highlights of Game 1 between Alpena and Gaylord. Keep it here, ladies and gentlemen, because sports is coming up next.
That's all we have for you this evening.
You can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online.
Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
And check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle at WBKB11.
Be sure to catch us back here tonight at 11 with Stephanie Manici. Have a great evening.